Hey guys, what's going on? It's Panther Dragon. Today we're going to be talking about the best autofill champions that you can play if you're playing, an autofill role. If you're a mid laner and you're autofilled to support, well, I got the list of champions you should play if you're filled into support, AD carry, top lane, or even the jungle. So what's the criteria based on this list? Well, it's essentially how easy is this champion to play in this certain role. If the champion's easier, the better. Also, if the champion is good at the moment or not. So like, I'm not going to tell you to play Zac because he kind of sucks. Or I'm not going to tell you to play Sejuani because she also sucks. And I definitely won't tell you to play Yasuo if you're a jungle autofill to mid lane. Nope, never do that. But with that being said, make sure you played 2 games of this champion in a normal game before going into ranked. And also, before we start this video will be sponsored by Pro Guides. Check them out for all your rank game needs. And if you guys want, you can enter an RP giveaway that is worth $25. All you have to do is subscribe and click the bell button on the Pro Guides YouTube channel, and you're already entered to win. Now, with all that being said, let's get started with the top lane. Alright, so what are some meta champions for the top lane, as well as easy if you're autofilled? Also, these champions are the champions I would play if I were top lane and I was autofill. So first up we're going to be talking about is Sion. Everyone should play this champion if you're autofill in the top lane. Why? Because he's a tank, he's not hard to fuck up on, and if you die 5 times in lane, well, guess what? You're a tank, so you'll be useful in team fights. You have CC, you're innately tanky as long as you have CS and, maybe armor and MR. And if you die, well, at least you have a passive that kills everyone, so I guess that's good. And yeah, Sion is pretty damn good. One of the reasons why is because you can go Resolve and Inspiration and get Time Warp Tonic, as well as biscuits if you need the extra sustain. So here's the thing, if you don't have to play top lane, you get out traded, guess what? You got sustain, you got corrupting potion, you got biscuits. Just hide under tower and play safe. Hey, you might not know how to lane or have lane priority, but at least you can keep up with farm and not die with enemy top laner, right? So yeah, I mean, Q smash them if you want, harass them if you want. Throw E's at them, use your shield whenever they go for a trade. Hold Q when they're going to go for a CS. And yeah, he's pretty simple. How to use your ulti? I don't know, just run in and see if you can hit people. It's your initiation tool, it's pretty easy. Come in from the flank, even better. Maybe you want to catch top wave faster? Okay, run it down top lane. So yeah, in my opinion, Sion, pretty easy to play. Definitely a really good pick if you're autofill top lane. Now, if you're one of those players who autofill top and first time Fiora, I don't know what to say, man. But if you're an autofill player and you first time Sion, that's a good player. That's a player who wants to win. Now, here are 2 rune setups I have seen people go on Sion. Glacial Augment for his passive to run down at people, as well as the Grass where, melee matchups. But Glacial Augment I think is more better for range matchups and people who don't have a lot of mobility, so they can't run from your dead passive. I think I would use Glacial Augment if I know I can't proc Grasp as much. One of the second best top laners to play if you're autofill is going to be Garen. This champion, as long as you read his ability descriptions, you should be able to play him. So easy. When your Q and E are up, go for a trade. When the enemy retaliates, press W. When the enemy is low enough, just press ulti and he dies. If the enemy has the villain mark on him, well, he dies even at higher HP. If you're level 16, maybe even 11, and they have the villain and they're squishy, they automatically die at 50% health. Yep, that's how it works. Since it does true damage. Again, this champion, pretty easy. You go in team fights, you can flash on QE, their silence, then R, some squishy dies or whoever you're marking. You have very strong base damage, so if you do int in the laning phase, well, at least you got very strong base damages. And all you need is levels, then you're back in the game. You're relatively slippery and tanky with your W, that's true. And you also get extra armor and magic resist for every minion you kill. And yeah, I mean, if the enemy is stupid also, there's a chance you can solo kill him. Especially if you take Ignite. But, yeah, this champion's, okay, so I was playing against a Jace as Garen, and, Jace is a lane bully, but here's the thing, Garen's passive. I just stood under tower, and he poked me down, but since my passive and, Doran's shield, he couldn't punish me. I was too buff, I was too big, I was too stupid, to really punish. So lane bullies, it's just like, this lane is dead, it's like, okay, it's a farm lane. Let's see what happens on the other side of the map kind of games. Here are the recommended runes I would go on Garen. He doesn't really get anything out of any other tree. I guess you could go inspiration, but like he doesn't really care about sorcery or domination tree. So the precision tree as well as the inspiration tree is your best bet. Next up, let's talk about junglers. For jungle, my god, most of the junglers right now are pretty hard to play and you gotta like have a few games on them. But a really simple champion, I guess, in terms of mechanics is gonna be Xin Zhao. So Xin Zhao, relatively easy. Essentially this game, once you get red buff, just try and find ganks as much as you can, spam that shit, just get first blood, EQ flash, etc. Just W them when they're CC'd, you know, when you knock them up. His combo is so easy. Maybe the usage of his ultimate is a little tricky, but it's pretty simple. I mean, if you're going in a team fight, just use it so the ranged champions can't kill you, or use it to escape. When you're like in a little skirmish, you can always use it for damage, you know, you E in, auto, alt, Q, and then when they're knocked up, W's ass. But yeah, since it does percent health damage of their current health, you want to use it at the beginning of a fight. Honestly, I've never seen anyone do like any fancy moves like flashing behind an enemy and knocking them into your team. I've actually never seen that ever happen. So the most efficient way of playing this champion is just to go in and spam all your shit and you'll hope to God you win. The only problem with this champion is he doesn't really scale in the late game. He's just an early game fighter. So if you do lose your early game pressure, it's kind of hard to come back and scale, you know what I mean? But mechanically, this champion is very simple. More simple than most champions, to be honest. It's just, you know, pathing, etc. is how you play jungle, essentially. Here are the runes for Xin Zhao. I used to go sudden impact, but now everyone's taking precision, so yeah. I also nerfed that sudden impact, so whatever. Now, I was gonna mention Warwick, but to be honest, this champion kind of sucks right now. And secondly, even when I mained Warwick back in the day, I still sucked at him, to be honest. I missed a bunch of ults. I know that. Missing a bunch of ults kind of feels bad. Or sometimes I would fuck up the QE combo, I don't even know how. But you know who's easier than Warwick and is kind of good right now? His name starts with the Kayn. I think this champion is relatively simple, you know? You go through walls, Q in, W someone to slow them, and then R them if you have to chase them more, or to block tower shots, or to get removed out of combat. There's little outplays that Kayn mains will do, like, you know, they'll smite you, alt, do some stylish shit that you've never seen before. But to be honest, the champion's mechanics are relatively simple. He may be not the best ganker, but his farming is nice. And once he does get red form, he actually outscales most junglers, so yeah. Also really good into tanks. I mean, once you're red form, you just Q in W, do as much damage as you can, and once you're low, just reset and ult into someone, and then you're back to full health or whatever. Whenever I play this champion, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I'm like, should I be ganking or should I be farming? And to be honest, when I do both, I'm not really punished too much, right? I mean, I guess the Kayn mains know like the general pathing of what you should do and what you can't do, but I just do whatever and I pop off. So this champion is relatively easy to play. If you know the basic stuff about him, then you should be able to play him. Here are the runes that people usually go on him, and yeah. Okay, that's it for the jungle. Let's move on to the mid lane. Mid lane, okay, so this one's a niche pick for myself, but I find him relatively easy, and he's gonna be Kassadin, you know, the most broken champion when he's level 16 because he can one-shot everyone. Okay, maybe his mid game, late game team fighting is a little bit shaky, like, you know, if you're not good at those kind of assassin-y fights, then you might have problems, but I'm fine with that. I know how to play flank and not go in and die. You know, just find that little opening for you to hop in and kill somebody. If you're level 16, okay, you can hop on whatever and kill everybody. Just make sure you don't get CC'd. Even if you do get CC'd or focused, you have Zhonya's, and yeah, pretty easy to play. Maybe not the team fights, you gotta kind of know. But the laning phase, so easy. I mean, you have no skill shots. You literally just Q the enemy over and over and then press W to refund your mana or get last hits. Like, your job in laning phase is to survive until, you know, you're level 6 or whatever, and then you can start doing work. And against magic damage dealers, I mean, you got 15% less damage from them, so that's pretty good. And since you have so much sustain, you know, Dark Seal, Corrupting Pot, or if you're going Fleet Footwork and Domination, yeah, that's where he gets kind of broken. You know, this champion can even duel AD champions because he does more damage. Melee champions also. I mean, you can go Grasp into Domination. You'll actually win melee fights because you have Grasp as well as an auto reset. Then, yeah. I mean, he's supposed to be countered by like Zed and Yasuo and Talon, but he can actually fight those champions. So yeah, I mean, this champion is just broken, in my opinion, and that's why you should be playing him. Here are the runes you should go and Cossadin. There's the melee matchup, and then there's the I'm just gonna sustain you out forever matchup. The next mid laner you should play is gonna be Malzahar. I have difficulties playing this champion team fights. One thing I learned is I don't try and look for an initiation ult. I kind of like sit back if I have tanks, and you know, because if I do initiation ult, I'm kind of setting myself up for vulnerability. Unless I'm going for a pick, then it's alright, but I need to use it to peel for myself, not initiate. But I'll tell you the laning phase why it's so easy. Okay, so maybe pre-6, that's when you gotta avoid, you know, some skill shots, whatever, do whatever, but technically he has no skill shots except his Q, but if you know how to land it, it's pretty easy, you know. Levels 1 to 5 can be a little hard, CSing, pretty hard. I don't think you have a lot of lane priority, because this champion kind of low range with his E, and will probably definitely get shoved in or out traded early. But once you have your lost chapter and you're like level 7 or something, that's when you can perma push waves, as you can EW it and then Q the back line or whatever your Malfic visions is, and then it's cleared and you can like roam or do something else and just free farm safely. Like if you need a champion who can do a lot of damage, farm safely, and easily not even touch the CS, then Malzahar is your champion. Definitely a champion you can play if you're autofill mid lane. That's what a lot of I think support players would do, is they would autofill Malzahar mid. Because let's be honest here, supports don't know what the CS, so Malzahar is a pretty good champion for that. Mechanics, press E, R, you know, E before you do anything essentially, and then you'll do your job. Also, since you are Malzahar, you force the enemy to buy a 1300 gold item, so you delay their power spike by just being Malzahar. Pretty good, if I do say so myself. Here are the runes for Malzahar. Anyways, that's it for the mid lane. Let's talk about AD carry. So AD carry is a hard role if you're not used to it. You gotta position, you gotta know like how the backline or the bruisers or whoever is gonna jump on you. Like everyone wants to kill your ass. So positioning as an AD carry is very valuable, and if you don't know how to do that, well, you're gonna die and cost the game. Luckily, I got some picks for you guys, which I also play as well. First off is going to be Heimerdinger. You know, the only reason I played this champion in AD carry role is because he was, you know, being seen there. And then I thought, hey, what the hell, this champion is stupid and fun. I mean, all you do is set up turrets, just push in, and then poke them down with your W. Super simple. And then after that, you gotta learn how to use your grenade and how to land it. Like, I just thought, turrets, push, push, push. Learn how to use your W and, you know, get all the missiles hitting one person, or not give a fuck and just do the 5-man fan. But yeah, laning phase is just poke. Teamfighting, use your RE to initiate and to get a pick, or like to do follow-up. That's your main tool for team fights. If you're the one getting collapsed on and like a bunch of people are swarming your team, all you have to do is RQ. Like placing that in a team fight and everyone's around you, pretty good. But most of the time you're going to be using your RE, and then you never use RW. It's kind of useless. It's because you're maxing out your W, so if you're using your ultimate on your W, it's just kind of dumb, since your RW is based off how much points you have in your ultimate, not your W. So that's why you never do that. And yeah, I don't know, he's awesome. Here are the runes for Heimerdinger. Next up, let's talk about an AD carry. I mean, you can play whatever mage you want in bot lane, but let's say you want to play an AD carry. That's pretty useful, and that's going to be Misfortune. Misfortune is really good for autofills because it's easy to kill creeps because you have your passive to enhance your auto attacks. So hitting creeps and last hitting is pretty easy, as well as she's kind of more of a spellcaster. Your main job is to like poke with Q and then press E and R, and that's literally it. Like if you can figure out how to use your Q in lane, which actually all you have to do is press Q in the enemy instead of bouncing, then you're fine. If you want to bounce, then sure, but just pressing Q in the enemy is fine because if you're passive, it does a lot of damage. Pressing R in team fights, I mean, if they clump up or you get like someone to initiate for you, you're good to go. You're really squishy though, so I mean be careful, but if you're just looking for good ults and pressing Q, you're fine. You don't have dashes, so you don't have to worry about too much, and you're kind of long range with your ulti and Q, so yeah. Also, you're fast as fuck with W. But yeah, I don't know, it's relatively easy. Maybe you'll screw up on the ultimates, you know, you'll have some bad ultis, but just play her like a AD spellcaster. Anyways, here are the runes for Misfortune. Next up, let's talk about autofill supports. So the ones I play are Soraka and Blitzcrank. If you're ever autofill, don't ever play Alistar, because let's be honest, you suck at Alistar if you've never played it before. It may look easy, but whenever I see streams where the Alistar headbutts people away or doesn't do it properly, it's just like, okay, just sit back and get carried. Like, don't try that shit. You're not a support main, don't play Alistar. But when it comes to Blitzcrank, I mean, pressing Q, hooking somebody, you usually win that trade. He's got such a linear playstyle that you can't really fuck up on him. I mean, you can miss hooks, but that's all you can do, right? He's all in or nothing, in my opinion. So if you want an aggressive support, play Blitzcrank. You want to run around the map, hook people, power fist them, play Blitzcrank. His combos are, well, they're pretty simple in my opinion. Here are the runes for Blitzcrank. And finally, the last person we're going to be talking about is Soraka. This champion is pretty easy. You can play her really efficiently if you know how to use your E. I don't still, I just use it to poke. But in teamfights, you're supposed to hold it for someone special in the enemy team. That's how you can be a really good Soraka. But I just use it whenever because I'm stupid. But I still make it work and I still have a good win rate with her, so I guess I'm doing something right. Like in the lane phase, poke with Q, poke with E, heal people with W, sit back and relax, and that's it. Press R when someone needs help and let your team do everything. It's so simple to play her, that's why I play her. Morgana, Nami, Thresh, all these like playmakers? Nah, sit back and relax. That's how Soraka plays. Easily one of the best autofills to play. Just so easy to play. There's nothing you can do like wrong. You know what I mean? Anyways, here are the runes for her, and that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what other lists you want to see that I could make, and I'll look through the comments to see some interesting ideas that you guys have for videos, and maybe you'll see one in the future. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I am Panzer Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.